And we are back on the Rodriguez show with the friend of the show. In the past, he was here with Function and they did a takeover. And we talked to him last year and he's back. His name is Karlton Phresh. How's it going, man?
Yo, what's good? Rodriguez show. Caesar, how you doing?
Good, man. So last time we had you on was last summer, last June. And you're always fighting the good fight. There was some issues, we were talking about some issues we had in the community back then. And I see you're wearing that
What a
hashtag
time.
Bang for Change sweater. And
Yes.
you've been doing a lot. How's it been since last summer?
It's been great. I mean, it's all been, continuing a journey, and a lot of progress has been made for
Yeah.
sure. A lot of things was going on during that time, and I think when you're in the middle of all of it, you kind of don't look at the work. You're just kind of doing it,
Hmm.
and then when you look back, you're kind of like, holy shit, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's continuing.
Yeah. One of the things that happened since the last time you were here was your album Neon. So
Yes.
tell us about that album.
Yes, I dropped an album. I dropped the album called Neon Nigga, and I appreciate that. You guys can also anybody can call it Neon. If you feel more comfortable that way, or
Yeah, I didn't know
prefer
how
that.
to I just thought I would just call it Neon.
No, I appreciate that. I mean that's like makes sense,
Yeah.
And I appreciate people are already gravitating towards that. But I wanted to make a kind of a pronoun for myself to describe myself. Um, I guess growing up in Michigan and being, a gay kid and like growing up around a very an area that's kind of not cool with that in a time frame that's not as cool with that, but still, like wanting to be involved with hip hop, wanted to be a producer and stuff. Like I kind of had to make a new lane for myself.
Yeah.
Cause like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna be me, and that's what it is.
Yeah, and the album you made it with Mellow Thing, who's a friend of the show as well, and it's really, I mean, I think I really love it because you feel a lot of emotions and they're really strong. So the songs that are angry, they're really angry and they're in your face. And then the positive song like Good Day, it's also in your face but with positivity. So you really
Yeah.
feel it and it's really strong. And if you haven't checked it out, you should. It's not on Apple Music, but it's on Spotify. Is there a specific reason for that?
Apple Music was giving me trouble with uploading it at the time with, I don't know, with like other singles and stuff. I didn't know what the whole deal was with that, but I was like, hey, I got to get this out. If Apple's not gonna, take it at this time, then I don't have to limit myself to not doing my release because there's other platforms
Yeah.
and other avenues, to pursue.
Yeah, and it's still available in other locations. I listened to it on Spotify, and it's a really great album. So everybody check it out. And
It's on YouTube as well. So anybody that doesn't have streaming, I feel like a lot more people actually use YouTube.
Mhm.
So yeah, check it out on there.
Yeah, it's great. And then so something also that's happened since last year. We've all been in this pandemic, but I see that you've been prepping for some public shows. And how's that performing outside again?
It's wonderful. Most recent event was with Brianna Harley, and it was open stage. I think it was Amplified Black Voices, yeah, in February, and that was beautiful. It was a beautiful event. Shout out to Beverly again for putting that together. But it was great. It's great to be in front of the people. It's great to be with the people. We were still, able to socially distance a little bit. People wear their masks if they want to. So I mean, I guess we're getting back out there.
Yeah, it's good to
Yeah.
see that. It was so sad. I mean, it's been a full year that there's been no places for people to perform, and so now it's making a comeback in a safe way. I've seen, outdoor stuff is being done in a way where you can feel comfortable doing that if you want, and if you don't, you can still wait.
Right, exactly. Everybody has their choice with the whole situation. So
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And you do have a performance coming up on March 27th, right? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Amora Nightclub. So this is the homie Isaac. He's a young guy. He's out there promoting shows. Like he actually threw a couple shows during the pandemic, the Panorama.
Yeah.
And They're pretty crazy. Yeah, I'll just say they were pretty crazy, and but I like the energy there. You know, it's always like a younger crowd, like a young crowd. So I like to gauge my music there with you know, with them, with the kids, and see like, are they vibing with this? Like, I still got my touch, you know, and they are. They really fuck with it. So yeah, they
That's
really
tight.
fuck with it. Yeah.
So if they want more information on that, they can follow you on Instagram at Karlton Phresh, and we'll post a link in the description of the episode as well. Something else you've been doing? You've been making a lot of beats. I saw you've been sharing your beats. How's that? Have you always been making beats?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, like I think since maybe 2013 is when I started taking it more seriously with beats and DJing kind of
Mm-hmm.
side by side. So it's been several years. And I produce for artists like Rudy Six, and Clemmy Williams. You know, we have Triumphant together. I actually produced Triumphant and a couple songs, like I said, for Rudy and Goddess too.
Yeah.
Goddess, I'm producing some of her stuff. But most recently, I got a track with Frosty that we're super excited about. And I'm super excited about. It's very just like a good lane for all of us. So yeah.
That's tight. Is that out yet? Where did that come out?
It's not. She, to my knowledge, is planning, you know, an album or project. I'll call it actually project. And, you know, I don't know when it's coming out, but she dropped the single recently, so we might be getting some more soon. It's gonna be fire though. I mean, she really did her thing. I love the way she sounds on this, and it inspired me to just kind of break out more. I think that moment when we cut that record and I seen how good it sounded, how good she sounded, I was like, I should do this a lot more. I really should be producing a lot more records for people.
That's cool. That's really exciting. It's good to see that you guys are, you know, two talented people working together. And it's always exciting to hear you guys collab. So we'll watch out for that Frosty collab. And then if people want to get beats from you, they can go to your BeatStarts page at Karlton Phresh. And if you go to the Instagram at Karlton Phresh, you have a link tree that has
link in
links
bio.
to the link in bio.
Yeah.
So they can get all the links on there. And then the other thing, the thing that you sent us that I thought was really good, and you're right, like in the description of it was Kid Cudi vibes and kind of reflective. It's your single. It's called World ? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, shout out Downstance on the production on that. We did a previous album together, Villain, and we had just been like really wanting to put something out together again, and just, you know, chopping it up in the DMs. So he had been sending me a couple beats, and there was just this one beat that like really stuck out, and I was like, I should say something, you know, on this beat. And this was kind of a couple months in the making. So, you know, coming off the tail end of 2020 and into January, what was it, 6th, when they like stormed the Capitol and all that. I was like, wow, you know, just because the year has changed. And I mean, obviously stuff is not just going to stop as soon as the year changes. But I think, you know, it was still a valid time to just, you know, create some music that still speaks on the climate and, you know, the work and what's happened. So well, it's came together.
It's a really great song, and you can check it out on all streaming sites. Yeah, it's just it's crazy how, I mean, to me it's just really exciting how you can go from an album like Neon and then something completely different like this one. You're making music in so many different directions, and you're really elevating the platform. So we appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Is there anything else you got coming up this year? I know you're a busy guy.
So thank you. Yeah, we have a documentary that's going to drop called The Movement 2020. So the World song that we released basically kind of gave a little vibe of what this documentary is kind of going to entail, which is, you know, the protests that happened in 2020, you know, a situation that really hopefully will never happen again, you know, with COVID going on, with the protests going on, with all this civil unrest. I mean, it was crazy. It's a year that will never happen again, not in the same way. So I followed a group of individuals throughout 2020, OC Justice Initiative, Pieces of Human Right, and Mobilize the People. And we were out there, just I was out there following them, seeing what work they're putting together, and it was just amazing. I was inspired really by all three of them, and followed them out to Washington D.C. to film and document their journey out there. So, yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna educate people about protesting, what really happened. Why are people out there doing protests? So we're going to talk about systemic racism. We're going to talk about prison reform, or how, the system kind of keeps people inside of that system, and just talk about how, the police basically treat certain people like they don't have any rights, or don't deserve any chance to live, to see their day in court. So, yeah.
That's exciting, man. And it's good that you're doing that. It's like the Bang for Change documentary as well. You guys are the people that were out there, and you know what it was like. And now looking back on it, like, there's a recent story about how the LAPD, there were so many things they did wrong during those protests, and it's good that the truth's coming out, and hopefully the people that did this stuff where they were violence against protesters that was not necessary. It comes to light, and there's retribution for it.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yeah.
But I think the documentation of it is just the most important thing, because at the end of the day, like, if we don't tell our own story, others are going to tell it, and then they're going to tell their version of it, and the future generations won't be able to know, like, what really happened. So it's really up to us, our own people, to cover our own situations. So that's why I'm a huge supporter of Bang for Change documentary. Shout out Farron Kid, Black OC, and that was an amazing film as well.
Well, Karlton Phresh, we're excited about everything that you do, and we're gonna listen to the single. It's called World, and they can follow you at Karlton Phresh on Instagram. At function.presents is the event page. You're always doing interesting stuff. Thank you, man. Thank you for being on.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, Caesar.
Hey.
Check out World, y'all.
Let's get into it. This is World by Karlton Phresh on The Rodriguez Show. Take it away, Mondo.